The night air was cool against Nathan Cole's face as he drove his ranger truck along the dark forest road. The headlights cut through the misty darkness of Pinewood National Forest, illuminating tall trees on both sides. It was nearly midnight, and Nathan was finishing his late patrol. "Ranger station to Nathan, come in," his radio crackled. Nathan picked up the radio. "This is Nathan, what's up, Alex?" "We're getting calls about strange lights in the sky near Lookout Point. Probably just some kids with drones again, but can you check it out?" "On my way," Nathan replied, turning his truck toward Lookout Point. Nathan was 34 years old with short brown hair and tired eyes. After 8 years as a military medic, he had come home to Oregon looking for peace and quiet. Being a park ranger suited him. He liked the forest, the wildlife, and most days the lack of people. As he drove up the winding road to Lookout Point, he noticed an unusual glow between the trees. It wasn't the white light of flashlights or the steady beam of car headlights. This light pulsed with a soft blue color. Nathan parked his truck and grabbed his flashlight and first aid kit. He always carried medical supplies, old habits from his military days. "Hello?" "Park ranger," he called out, walking toward the blue glow. No one answered. The light grew brighter as he walked deeper into the forest. Then he heard a sound that made him freeze. It was like crying, but not quite human. It reminded him of a child, but with an echo that no human voice could make. Nathan pushed through a thick patch of bushes and stopped in shock. In a small clearing sat what could only be a spacecraft. It was about the size of a small car, oval-shaped, with a cracked outer shell that glowed faintly blue. Smoke rose from one side where it had hit the ground. The crying sound came again, louder now. Nathan approached slowly, his heart racing. He wasn't afraid exactly. His time in the military had taught him to stay calm in strange situations, but he had never expected to find an actual spaceship in his forest. "Hello?" he called, softly. The crying stopped for a moment, then started again, more urgent. Nathan saw a small opening in the side of the craft. Shining his flashlight inside, he caught a glimpse of movement. Something small was huddled in the corner, shaking. "It's okay," Nathan said gently, not knowing if whatever was inside could understand him. "I won't hurt you." A small face appeared in the opening. Nathan's breath caught in his throat. It was clearly not human, yet strangely familiar. The creature had a head shaped like a human child's, but with blue skin that seemed almost see-through. Its eyes were large and completely black, with no visible pupils. There were no ears, just small openings on the sides of its head. It had 2 arms and 2 legs and stood about 3 feet tall. The alien child, for it was clearly a child of its species, made that crying sound again. Then something very strange happened. Nathan heard words in his mind. "Help. Please. Hide me." Nathan stepped back in surprise. "Did you just... please?" The thought voice in his head was like a child's, frightened and desperate. "They will come. Bad ones, help me." Nathan looked around nervously. He should call this in. There were protocols for unusual finds in the park, and an alien spacecraft definitely counted as unusual. But the creature seemed so frightened, so young. "Are you hurt?" he asked. The alien child stepped forward into the moonlight. Now Nathan could see a dark liquid, perhaps blood, running down one of its arms. The child swayed slightly. "Yes. Pain. Hide me. Please." Making a quick decision that would change his life forever, Nathan knelt down. "I'm a medic. I can help you. Will you come with me?" The alien child hesitated, then nodded in a very human gesture. It took a few shaky steps forward and nearly collapsed. Nathan caught it gently. The child was surprisingly light, weighing no more than a human 5-year-old. Its skin felt cool and slightly damp. "I've got you," Nathan said, wrapping the alien in his jacket. "I'm taking you somewhere safe." The child curled against his chest as he carried it back to his truck. Nathan placed the alien gently on the passenger seat and covered it with a blanket he kept for emergencies. "Stay hidden," he told it. and was surprised to get a clear thought in response. "Thank you." As Nathan drove back down the mountain, his radio crackled again. "Nathan, any update on those lights?" Alex asked. Nathan glanced at the small shape huddled under the blanket beside him. What was he supposed to say? That he'd found an alien child and was taking it home? "Just some teenagers with flashlights," he lied. "I sent them home." "Copy that." "Coming back to the station?" "Actually, I'm not feeling well. Might be that stomach bug going around. I'm heading home. I'll finish the paperwork tomorrow." "Feel better?" "Man, see you tomorrow." Nathan drove past the ranger station and headed to his small cabin deeper in the woods. His mind raced with questions. What was this creature? Where did it come from? Why was it afraid? Who were the bad ones it mentioned? Once inside his cabin, Nathan gently placed the alien child on his couch. Under the bright indoor lights, he could see the child more clearly. Its skin wasn't just blue. It had patterns that seemed to shift and change, like tiny stars moving. Beneath the surface, the blood on its arm was a deeper blue, almost purple. "Let me help you," Nathan said, opening his first aid kit. The alien watched him with those large, dark eyes. After military service in war zones, Nathan had treated all kinds of wounds, but never on an alien body. He wasn't sure what would help and what might hurt. "This might sting," he warned, preparing to clean the wound. The alien child touched its hand to Nathan's wrist. Instantly, a series of images flashed through Nathan's mind, strange symbols, tools, and something that looked like blue gel. "You need different medicine?" Nathan guessed. The child nodded. Nathan thought for a moment. "I know someone who might be able to help. A doctor. Well, an animal doctor. But she's smart, and she can keep a secret." He picked up his phone and dialed. After 4 rings, a sleepy voice answered. "Elaine, it's Nathan. I need your help with something unusual." "Do you know what time it is?" Dr. Elaine Foster grumbled. "I wouldn't call if it wasn't important," Nathan said. "I need you to bring your medical kit to my cabin. And Elaine, don't tell anyone." 30 minutes later, there was a knock at Nathan's door. He opened it to find Elaine, a woman in her 40s with curly red hair, standing on his porch with her medical bag. "This better be good, Nathan," she said as she stepped inside. Then she saw the alien child on the couch and stopped walking. "What in the world?" "I found it, her in the forest," Nathan explained quickly. "Crashed ship, injured, scared." Elaine stared at the alien child for a long moment. Then, to Nathan's relief, her doctor instincts took over. "Well," she said, setting down her bag. "Let's see what we can do." As they worked to clean and bandage the alien's wound, strange vehicles began driving slowly along the main road near Nathan's cabin. Black SUVs with tinted windows. Government plates. "They're looking for me," the alien's voice whispered in there. "Hide me, please." Nathan moved to the window and pulled the curtains shut. "Don't worry," he told the alien child. "You're safe here." But as more black vehicles passed by, Nathan wondered if he could keep that promise. The alien child looked up at him with those large, dark eyes. "They will hurt everyone if they find me." Nathan and Elaine exchanged worried glances. Whatever had begun this night was far from over. The truth, Nathan suspected, was much bigger and possibly much worse than a simple crashed spaceship. "What's your name?" Nathan asked the alien gently. The child made a sound Nathan couldn't possibly pronounce. In his mind, it translated to something like a color and a feeling combined. "I think I'll call you Blue," Nathan said. "And I promise, Blue, I'll help you." Blue's skin brightened slightly, perhaps the alien equivalent of a smile. Outside, more vehicles drove by, and in the distance, helicopters began to circle. 2 weeks had passed since Nathan found Blue. The small alien child was recovering well, hidden in Nathan's cabin deep in the pinewood forest. Nathan had called in sick to work several times, using vacation days when his boss started asking questions. Morning. Sunlight streamed through the windows as Nathan made breakfast. Blue sat at the kitchen table, watching curiously as Nathan flipped pancakes. "Hungry?" Nathan asked. sliding a plate in front of the alien. Blue nodded. This was one of many human gestures the alien had quickly learned. Nathan had discovered that Blue could eat most human foods, though the alien preferred fruits and vegetables to meat. Dr. Elaine Foster arrived just as they finished breakfast, knocking their secret pattern on the door. 3 quick taps, pause, 2 more taps. "Good morning," she said, setting her medical bag on the table. "How's our patient today?" "Getting better fast," Nathan replied. "The wound is almost gone." Elaine examined Blue's arm where the injury had been. Only a faint blue mark remained where there had once been a deep gash. "Amazing," she said. "Your people heal much faster than humans, Blue." Blue touched Elaine's hand, sending an image to her mind. Elaine had grown used to the alien's way of communicating. "Yes, I see," Elaine said. "Your cells regenerate more quickly than ours." Nathan poured coffee for himself and Elaine. "Blue showed me something interesting last night," he said. "Images of Blue's homeworld." "Really?" Elaine sat down, her face eager. "What was it like?" "Beautiful," Nathan said. "But also dying, I think. Their sun was strange, darker than it should be. Blue's skin patterns shifted, showing swirls of darker blue. Nathan had learned this was a sign of sadness. "Running," Blue's voice whispered in their minds. "My people running." "Running from what?" Elaine asked gently. Blue shook his head. The alien seemed either unable or unwilling to explain completely. "Blue, what are these marks?" Nathan pointed to strange symbols that had appeared on Blue's skin overnight. They looked like tiny glowing lines forming a pattern. Blue touched the marks. "Timer," came the thought word. "Timer for what?" Nathan asked. Before Blue could answer, they heard car tires on the gravel outside. Nathan quickly moved to the window and peeked through the curtains. "Police," he whispered. "It's Officer Monroe." Blue immediately slid under the table, making himself as small as possible. "I'll handle this," Nathan said, smoothing his shirt and going to the door. Officer Jack Monroe was a middle-aged man with a thick mustache and suspicious eyes. He had been patrolling the area frequently since the night of the crash. "Morning." "Nathan," Monroe said. "You feeling better? Haven't seen you around town lately." "Much better, thanks," Nathan replied, blocking the doorway with his body. "Just needed some rest." Monroe peered over Nathan's shoulder. "Dr. Foster's car is here. You still sick?" "Just a follow-up," Elaine called from inside. "Making sure he's fit for work." Monroe nodded slowly. "There's been strange reports in these woods. Lights, noises. You seen anything unusual?" "Nothing at all," Nathan said firmly. "Just the usual deer and bears." "Well," Monroe said, handing Nathan a card. "Call me if you do. Government folks are interested in anything out of the ordinary." After Monroe left, Nathan, Elaine, and Blue breathed sighs of relief. "That was close," Elaine said. "But we can't keep hiding forever. More people are getting suspicious." Blue climbed out from under the table, his skin showing patches of pale. "Blue, fear." "I need to run errands in town," Nathan said. "We need supplies, and it might look stranger if I stay hidden away." Elaine agreed to stay with Blue while Nathan went to town. The small town of Pinewood was just 10 miles from Nathan's cabin, a place where everyone knew everyone else. In the town grocery store, Nathan noticed something odd. More strangers than usual, men and women in casual clothes that didn't quite fit right. They looked like government agents trying to blend in. As Nathan paid for his groceries, an old man approached him. Samuel Dixon was in his 80s with wispy white hair and eyes that had seen too much. "Nathan Cole," Dixon said quietly. "Need to talk to you. It's important." "Mr. Dixon, I'm in a hurry." "It's about the visitor," Dixon whispered. "I know. What you found in those woods." Nathan's heart skipped a beat. "I don't know what you're talking about." 1967, Dixon continued. "I found one too. Same blue skin, same sad eyes." Nathan hesitated, then nodded toward his truck. 5 minutes, he said. Sitting in Nathan's truck, Dixon's old hands trembled as he spoke. "They came to study us," he explained. Been watching Earth for generations. The one I found was injured, like yours probably was. If I had found anything, Nathan said carefully. Which I haven't, why would you tell me this? Dixon's eyes grew sad. Because my story ended badly. I trusted the wrong people. Military came, took the visitor away. Never saw it again. But sometimes at night, I still hear its cries in my dreams. Nathan felt a chill. Why are you telling me this? Because they might not be what they seem, Dixon said. The images it showed me, of peace and friendship, didn't match what happened after more of them arrived. More of them? Nathan asked, forgetting to pretend ignorance. Dixon nodded gravely. 3 ships, they called it the exchange. They took 7 people from town. Said it was for research. We never saw those people again. Nathan drove back to his cabin with Dixon's warning echoing in his mind. Could Blue be dangerous? Was this some kind of invasion plan? When he arrived home, Elaine met him at the door with a worried face. The marks on Blue's skin, she said quietly. They're spreading, and they're glowing brighter. Blue sat in the living room, skin patterns swirling rapidly. The timer symbols now covered most of Blue's arms. Blue, Nathan said firmly. We need the whole truth now. What is this timer counting down to? What happens when it reaches 0? The alien child looked up, those large, dark eyes somehow both innocent and ancient. Others come, Blue said in their minds. Others like you? Elaine asked. Family. Many family. Nathan remembered Dixon's warning. Are they coming to hurt us? To take people away? Blue's skin turned a deep dark blue, the color of distress. No hurt. Need help. Then why did your people take humans back in 1967? Nathan asked. Blue seemed confused. Images flashed rapidly in Nathan's mind. Stars, ships, faces of aliens that looked like older versions of Blue. Not take, save. Save from what? Elaine asked. Blue stood up and walked to the window, looking at the sky. My star dying. My world cold. Need new home. Nathan and Elaine exchanged glances. You're refugees, Nathan said, understanding dawning. Your people are running from a dying star, Blue nodded. Long watching Earth, learning if humans kind or cruel, if we can live together. And the timer? Elaine pointed to the glowing marks. Signal, Blue said. When safe, bring others. Nathan paced across the room. So you were sent ahead to see if humans would help you? If we'd share our planet? Yes, came the simple reply. Child sent, humans kinder to children. Elaine looked shocked. They sent a child alone on purpose? Brave journey, Blue said with a hint of pride. Great honor. Nathan knelt beside Blue. Why didn't you tell us the whole truth from the beginning? Blue touched Nathan's face gently. A wave of sadness and fear flowed into Nathan's mind. Last scout not return. One before not return. Humans afraid of different. Humans hurt what they fear. Nathan couldn't argue with that. Human history was full of examples. So your people need a new home, Nathan said slowly. And the timer is counting down to when they'll try to come here. No try, Blue corrected. Will come. Must come. No other choice. The gravity of the situation hit Nathan. This wasn't just about one alien child anymore. This was about an entire species looking for sanctuary. How many? He asked. How many of your people need to come to Earth? Blue's answer came not in words, but in an image. Thousands of ships, carrying millions of souls, all with nowhere else to go. Outside, the sound of helicopters grew louder. Through the window, Nathan could see black SUVs turning onto the forest road that led to his cabin. They found us, Elaine whispered. Blue's timer marks glowed brighter, pulsing with urgency. Nathan Cole, a voice boomed through a loudspeaker. This is Director Patricia Wells of the Special Projects Division. We know what you're harboring. Come out with your hands up. Nathan looked at Blue, whose eyes were wide with fear. "What happens if they capture you?" Nathan asked. "Study, cut, learn, then destroy," came the terrifying answer. "Then when others come, war." Nathan made his decision. "We won't let that happen." "Get away from the windows," Nathan whispered, pulling Blue away from the glass. Outside, government vehicles surrounded the cabin. Men in black tactical gear moved through the trees. "Is there another way out?" Elaine asked, her voice shaking. Nathan nodded. "The cellar has a tunnel. Old owner was paranoid about government raids. Guess he wasn't so crazy after all." As helicopter spotlights swept across the cabin, Nathan quickly moved a rug and opened a trapdoor in the floor. Beneath was a narrow, wooden staircase leading down into darkness. "Go," he told Elaine and Blue. "Take the tunnel. It comes out near the creek about half a mile east. My truck keys are on the hook. Get to my brother Ben's place in Portland." "What about you?" Elaine asked, already halfway down the stairs with Blue. "I'll stall them," Nathan said. "Give you time to get away." Blue reached up and touched Nathan's hand. A feeling of gratitude and worry flowed into Nathan's mind. "Be safe," Blue's voice said in his thoughts. "You too, little buddy," Nathan replied, closing the trapdoor and replacing the rug just as someone began pounding on the front door. "Nathan Cole, this is your final warning. Open up." Nathan took a deep breath, walked to the door, and opened it slowly with his hands raised. 4 armed agents immediately pushed inside, followed by a tall woman in a dark suit. "Director Wells, I presume," Nathan said calmly. The woman nodded sharply. "Where is it?" "Where's what?" Nathan asked, trying to look confused. Wells signaled to her agents, who began searching the cabin. "Don't play games, Mr. Cole. We tracked the alien craft that crashed in your forest 2 weeks ago. We know you found something or someone inside." "I don't know what you're talking about," Nathan insisted. "I'm just a park ranger." "A park ranger who served as a combat medic in 3 war zones," Wells countered. "A man with the skills to treat injuries unlike anything on Earth." One of the agents approached Wells. "Ma'am, there's no sign of the alien, but we found this." He held up a small cloth with blue stains on it. Wells examined it. "Their blood. We're close." She turned to Nathan. "Where did you hide it?" "You're making a mistake," Nathan said. "Whatever you're looking for, it's not what you think." "Search outside," Wells ordered her team. "Check every inch of this property." As the agents moved out, Wells stepped closer to Nathan. "Mr. Cole, you don't understand what you're dealing with. This isn't first contact. We've been monitoring these aliens for decades." "Then you know they're peaceful," Nathan said, letting his pretense slip. Wells laughed without humor. "Peaceful? Is that what it told you?" She pulled out a tablet and showed Nathan a video of a blue-skinned alien, similar to Blue but adult-sized, examining what looked like human tissue samples. "Idaho, 1982, Wells explained. "We captured one. It was studying us, Mr. Cole. Like specimens. Their interest in Earth isn't friendly curiosity." Nathan felt a chill but remembered Blue's fear. "If you'd been treated like a lab rat, wouldn't you study your captors too?" Before Wells could answer, the radio on her hip crackled. "Director, we've found unusual readings by the creek. Heat signatures moving away from the property." Wells stared at Nathan with cold eyes. "You helped it escape." She turned toward the door. "Seal off the area. Nothing gets out." Left alone briefly in his cabin, Nathan noticed Blue had left something behind. A small glowing blue crystal. He quickly pocketed it as Wells returned. "You're coming with us, Mr. Cole," she said. "Maybe seeing our research will change your mind about your new friend." Nathan was handcuffed and placed in the back of a black SUV. Through the window, he could see agents with dogs combing the forest. He hoped Elaine and Blue had enough of a head start. The SUV drove for nearly an hour, before reaching a secure facility hidden in the mountains. Inside, Nathan was led through sterile white corridors into what looked like a control room. Screens displayed maps of the night sky with dozens of blinking lights moving toward Earth. "That's the real invasion," Wells said, pointing to the screens. "Hundreds of alien vessels entering our solar system. Your little blue friend was just the advanced scout. A scientist in a lab coat approached them. Director Wells, we've detected atmospheric disturbances worldwide. They're beginning the approach sequence. Wells turned to Nathan. The scout's job was to activate a beacon. That's what the markings on its skin were for. Did it succeed? Is the beacon active? Nathan said nothing, his mind racing. Was Blue telling the truth about needing sanctuary? Or was Wells right about an invasion? A new voice joined the conversation. Maybe we should show Mr. Cole the visitor from 1967. Nathan turned to see an older man in military uniform. His nameplate read, Commander Turner. 1967? Nathan asked, thinking of what old man Dixon had told him. Turner nodded. Follow me. In a heavily secured room deeper in the facility, Nathan was shown a large cylinder filled with clear liquid. Floating. Inside was a blue-skinned alien, adult-sized and clearly dead. Its face looked peaceful, but its body showed signs of extensive surgical procedures. We've learned a lot from this specimen, Turner said. Their biology is remarkable, adaptable, almost as if designed to survive in different environments, a female scientist interrupted, entering the room. I'm Dr. Maria Sanchez. I've been studying their genetic structure for years. And? Nathan asked. And they're genetic engineers, Sanchez explained. Their DNA can bond with other species, allowing them to adapt to new environments. It's how they've survived as nomads for thousands of years. Nathan remembered Blue's images of a dying star. Their world is dying. They need somewhere to go. At our expense, Wells said firmly. They need human genetic material to adapt to Earth. Do you understand what that means? Before Nathan could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. A voice on the intercom called for immediate evacuation. What's happening? Wells demanded into her radio. Multiple objects entering Earth's atmosphere, came the reply. They're not waiting anymore. The invasion has begun. Nathan was rushed back to the control room where chaos had erupted. The screens showed dozens of blue lights descending toward Earth's surface. Get the president on the line, Wells ordered. Activate all military responses. This is not a drill. As officials rushed around him, Nathan felt the small crystal in his pocket growing warmer. He carefully took it out. The crystal pulsed with blue light, matching the rhythm of the timer marks he'd seen on Blue's skin. Dr. Sanchez noticed and approached him. What is that? Something Blue left behind, Nathan admitted. Sanchez examined it without touching. It's emitting a signal, but not to the ships. It's broadcasting to somewhere else in the facility. Realization dawned on Nathan. The 1967 visitor. It's not dead, is it? Alarm crossed Sanchez's face as she picked up a phone. Security to Specimen Room 1. Immediately. On the main screen, satellite imagery showed the first alien ships landing. Not in major cities, as everyone expected, but in remote, uninhabited areas. Deserts, mountain ranges, and ocean platforms. That's not an invasion pattern, Turner said, confused. Because it's not an invasion, Nathan insisted. They're refugees looking for places humans don't use. Places they can adapt to without displacing us. Wells shook her head. They're establishing beachheads, phase 1 of a long-term colonization. The facility shook suddenly like an earthquake had hit. Security alarms triggered everywhere. Specimen Room 1 has been breached, someone shouted. The containment unit is open. Nathan felt a familiar touch on his mind, but stronger, more mature than Blue's presence. Guardian, came a deep thought voice in his head. Thank you for protecting our child. Nathan closed his eyes, focusing on the presence. Who are you? I am Keeper, the voice replied. Leader of the Lumari, you have the beacon. Nathan looked at the crystal in his hand. This will bring your people here? To Earth? It will signal that we may approach peacefully, Keeper explained. The child believed humans could be trusted. You proved the child right. Around Nathan, soldiers were rushing toward Specimen Room 1, weapons drawn. Wells was shouting orders for Nathan to be restrained. Nathan made his decision. He squeezed the crystal tightly in his fist, feeling it warm until it was almost hot. We need promises, Nathan thought back. No harm to humans. No taking our land or resources without permission. A true partnership. Agreed, came Keeper's reply. We seek only to survive alongside you. We bring knowledge, technology, healing. In exchange for sanctuary. Nathan opened his hand. The crystal had melted into his palm, leaving a glowing mark like the ones on Blue's skin. The countdown was complete. Outside the facility, a large ship descended from the clouds, hovering directly overhead. It emitted no weapons, just a soft, blue light that encompassed the entire building. In the chaos, Nathan spotted a familiar small figure entering the control room. Blue, followed by Elaine, and, surprisingly, Nathan's brother Ben. You escaped the forest, Nathan said, relieved. Blue nodded. Called family. They listened. Ben looked both terrified and amazed. When Elaine brought this little guy to my apartment, I thought she was crazy. Then we saw the ships on TV. Director. Wells raised a gun, pointing it at Blue. Step away from the alien, all of you. Put the gun down, Nathan said calmly. If they wanted to harm us, they would have done it already. Look outside, they're landing in places where they won't disturb humans. It's true, Dr. Sanchez confirmed, looking at incoming data. No aggressive actions, no weapons deployed. 3 days after the Lumari arrival, Nathan stood in the Oval Office of the White House, still trying to process how quickly his life had changed. Blue stood beside him, now dressed in a small version of human clothes, jeans and a blue t-shirt that matched his skin. Keeper and 2 other adult Lumari waited calmly nearby. President Linda Warren looked tired. She had been in emergency meetings since the first ships appeared. Mr. Cole, she said, you've become our unexpected link to the Lumari. Director Wells still thinks this is all an elaborate trick before an invasion. It's not, Nathan said firmly. If they wanted to invade, they have the technology to do it easily. They chose the hard path, asking permission. The president nodded slowly. Their ships have settled in the Sahara Desert, the Australian outback, deep ocean trenches, and parts of Antarctica. All places where few or no humans live. As promised, Keeper's voice touched their minds. We seek only to share this world, not take it. Admiral Frank Powell, a stern military man with gray hair and cold eyes, stood from his chair. Madam President, we cannot trust these aliens based on feelings and promises. We need guarantees. Nathan understood the fear. In just 3 days, over 200 Lumari ships had arrived, carrying thousands of refugees. People around the world were panicking despite the peaceful landings. Blue stepped forward, his skin pattern showing confidence Nathan hadn't seen before. The small alien child who had once begged for help now stood tall. What guarantee did I have when I crashed? Blue asked, his thought voice reaching everyone in the room. That humans would help, not hurt. I trusted. Now you must trust. The president seemed moved by Blue's words. The child makes a good point, Admiral. Children are often used as Trojan horses, Powell countered. It's the oldest trick. Send. Something that appears harmless first. Nathan felt anger rising. Blue wasn't harmless, he was vulnerable. There's a difference. Keeper raised a hand and peaceful feelings washed over the room. We understand your fear. All species fear what they do not understand. We propose an exchange. What kind of exchange? The president asked. Knowledge, Keeper replied. We have traveled the stars for generations. We have discovered technologies your people have only dreamed of. Clean energy, advanced medicine, ways to heal your planet's damaged ecosystems. In exchange for what? Powell demanded. Sanctuary, Keeper said simply. And limited access to human genetic material. Freely, given with full consent, to help us adapt to Earth's environment. The room grew tense. Director Wells, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. There it is. They want our DNA, just as we suspected. For adaptation, not replacement, Nathan argued. They can't survive long-term in Earth's environment without adapting. Dr. Maria Sanchez, who had been brought from the facility as a scientific advisor, nodded. From what I've seen of their biology, they would need small samples from volunteers, nothing invasive or harmful. The president stood and walked to the window, looking out at the White House lawn where news crews had gathered. The world is watching. People are afraid. Some are calling for military action against the ships. Violence would be answered with defense, Keeper warned. We do not wish to harm humans, but we will protect our people. Nathan remembered something Blue had shown him. Keeper, show them what you showed me about your technology. Keeper closed his large eyes. Suddenly, everyone in the room saw images of amazing technologies, machines that could clean polluted oceans, energy sources that required no fuel, medical devices that could heal almost any injury. These gifts we offer freely, Keeper said, for the good of both our peoples. The president looked thoughtful. I need to consult with other world leaders. This decision affects all of humanity. As the meeting ended, Nathan, Blue, and the Lumari were escorted to private quarters in the White House. News reports played on a television, showing protests in some cities, but also people gathering with welcome signs near the Lumari ships. Humanity was divided. That evening, Nathan received an unexpected visitor, his ex-wife Olivia Cole. She worked in diplomatic services and had been called in as an advisor. Nathan, she said, entering the room, I can't believe you're at the center of all this. Nathan smiled wearily. Not by choice, believe me. Olivia's eyes widened when she saw Blue. So this is the famous alien child. Blue studied her curiously. Nathan, memory, happy times, sad ending. Olivia blushed. You can read minds? Not exactly, Nathan explained. More like impressions, feelings. Blue can sense connections. I'm here officially, Olivia said, becoming professional. The diplomatic corps is drafting a potential treaty. We'd like your input, as someone the Lumari trust. Nathan spent hours working with Olivia and her team, helping them understand what he knew about the Lumari. Blue stayed by his side, explaining things Nathan didn't understand. Late that night, as Nathan finally tried to sleep, alarms blared throughout the White House. Security personnel rushed into their quarters. What's happening? Nathan asked, jumping to his feet. Military action against one of the Lumari ships, a guard explained quickly. Not authorized by the president. We need to move you to a secure location. Nathan, Blue, and Keeper were rushed to an underground bunker. On screens, they watched in horror as fighter jets attacked a Lumari ship in the desert. The ship did not return fire but raised shields that the weapons couldn't penetrate. Who ordered this? Nathan demanded. Admiral Powell, came the answer, from a staff member. He went against orders. President Warren entered the bunker, her face grim. The admiral has been relieved of command, but damage is done. The Lumari would be justified in retaliating. All eyes turned to Keeper. The Lumari leader's skin had darkened to a deep blue, showing distress, but his voice remained calm. We will not attack. This was the action of one human, not your species. The president looked relieved. Thank you for understanding the difference. We must show our peaceful intentions more clearly, Keeper decided. Nathan, will you help us? Of course, Nathan agreed. What do you need? A broadcast, Keeper said, to all humans. Let them see us as we truly are. The next morning, cameras were set up in the Rose Garden. Nathan stood beside Blue and Keeper as television networks worldwide carried their message. Billions watched, as Keeper explained the Lumari story, their dying star, their long journey, their hope for a new beginning. Blue stepped forward when Keeper finished. The small alien child who had begged Nathan for help now addressed the entire world. I was sent alone. Blue's thoughts were translated through special devices. A child, to see if humans would show kindness or cruelty. I was hurt, scared. One human helped me when he could have harmed me. Then another helped. Then more. Blue turned to Nathan with what seemed like a smile. Humans feel fear, like all living things. But humans can overcome fear with something stronger, compassion. We do not ask you to stop being afraid. We ask only that you be brave enough to help, despite your fear. The speech touched hearts worldwide. Reports came in of people bringing gifts to the Lumari ships: food, water, art, music, a gesture of welcome. 1 week later, the first official Human-Lumari Treaty was signed. The Lumari would share their technology and help repair Earth's environment. In exchange, they would establish settlements in agreed-upon regions, mostly harsh environments where humans couldn't easily live. A program of voluntary genetic donation was established, strictly regulated and compensated. Nathan was appointed the first human ambassador to the Lumari. As he packed for his new post at the main Lumari settlement, Blue entered his room. "You will come with us?" Blue asked hopefully. "Of course," Nathan smiled. "Someone needs to keep an eye on you." Blue's skin brightened, now showing patterns that Nathan recognized as happiness. "You saved my people when you saved me. And you saved humanity," Nathan replied. "Your people's technology will help solve our biggest problems: pollution, disease, energy shortages. Exchange," Blue said, using one of his favorite human words. "Good for all." 3 months later, Nathan stood on a platform overlooking the first joint human Lumari city. Built in what had once been empty desert, it now bloomed with life. Lumari environmental technology had transformed the sand into fertile soil. Buildings, designed by both species, stood side by side. In a park below, human and Lumari children played together. Dr. Elaine Foster had established the first human Lumari medical center, where the aliens' advanced healing knowledge was being taught to human doctors. Nathan's brother Ben worked with Lumari engineers, adapting their clean energy systems for human use. Even Director Wells had changed her position after seeing the benefits of cooperation. She now headed a security team that worked with both species to ensure the treaty was followed. "Was it what you expected?" Nathan asked Blue, who stood beside him watching the sunset. Blue, now officially recognized as a child of the Lumari leadership, shook his head. "Better. Much better." Nathan remembered the frightened alien child who had begged for help in the forest. That desperate plea had led to humanity's greatest opportunity. "When you begged me for help that night," Nathan said, "what were you really asking for?" Blue turned those large, dark eyes to Nathan. "Not just for me. For all my people. For hope." Nathan nodded, understanding now the weight of the choice he had made that night in the forest. One act of kindness had changed the future for 2 species.